All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another post-fight analysis video. All right, y'all, let's go back and look at Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus Silvana Gomez Juarez. All right, y'all, I got this pick wrong. I thought that Juarez had the boxing ability and overall striking ability to pick apart Karolina at this point in her career, but Karolina, she showcased some new levels to her game. Still resorted back to some of the old ways in this fight. Still that pressure brawling style. Still wide open for right hands and still getting hit in there. But, with the pressure that she was applying to Juarez, Juarez really couldn't take it. So as she was able to back her up in this fight, she still was able to land a high volume of strikes and just overall win over the judges. The first time I watched this fight, I had it for Juarez. I gave her rounds 2 and 3. But the more I watched her back up and just let Karolina even give the judges the illusion that she was really putting a lot of pressure and a lot of work on her, I said, okay, I can see it going this way for Karolina as well. It was a close fight. It was a close competitive fight. So I really can't argue with it. I mean, I don't know what the judge was doing in the octagon at that point, which I talk about here in a minute. But, Juarez, she still has a lot to work on in her game. And, at 37, it's kind of questionable at this point. At least for Karolina, she still has something to offer. But how much does she have to offer, right, at this point? But yeah, Karolina, she was able to pull out a unanimous decision, 2-1 over Juarez. Just a lot of pressure, a good first round with a lot of ground control. The last 2 rounds of this fight, they were kind of tit for tat. But like I said, I think it was the fact that Karolina was coming forward with her strikes, and that's what won the judges, won a lot of the judges' take in this fight. If you go back and look at the first round, right away, Karolina was putting that pressure on. She was putting that pressure on, putting that jab in the face of Juarez. Juarez, to me, she looked uncomfortable with the pressure. As soon as the pressure was on, like she was just kind of flicking her punches out, but she really wasn't trying to, hit the mark on Karolina. Like she should have been, taking that step back and timing Karolina so she could fire that jab and step away from the cage. But she just continued to let that pressure overwhelm her, even whenever shots weren't coming. So whenever she did let off a couple shots and she started let off a leg kick, Karolina caught it and just took her down. And from there, I was like, okay, we're about to get a submission win for Karolina. But no, man, Juarez, she was able to defend. And Karolina, she just pretty much controlled the round with a lot of, ground time, with the back of Juarez and just really putting a lot of pressure on the ground for like 3 minutes. Juarez eventually got back to her feet, but she clearly lost that round because, like I said, she just doesn't have that type of ground game. Second round was the closer round to me, but I could see where the judges gave it to Karolina because, again, Karolina's coming forward and connecting, and Juarez, she's stepping back and connecting. And every time she steps back, she has to reset, and that's where Karolina's coming forward with the high guard, and she's firing that jab off in that straight right hand down the pipe on Juarez. I mean, Juarez did land a good overhand right in this round. That's probably the best punch of the fight and of the round. As Karolina stepped in, it was kind of reminiscent of the one she ate from Andrade, but with a less pop. And that's what I was saying with Juarez can't hurt Karolina. She's just going to keep storming forward at this point. She's going to keep on walking her down. Juarez was landing some good shots. She did stick a few here to the body and those good right hands upstairs. I thought she landed the more effective shots, but Karolina still coming forward and landing in high volume. So it was a tit for tat round. So any way you want to score it, that's who had it. I had it for Juarez. The last round, I gave the Juarez. I thought that Karolina's output kind of went down and she was coming forward and eating a lot of shots. Juarez, she didn't step up her game. She didn't really step it up to the point she knew that she was behind, but she still was landing. She was sticking that jab out and landing the right hand and just sticking that left hook to the body, which I thought she should have been doing in the first round. She would have landed that left hook to the body, probably would have opened up the knockout, kind of like how Irene Aldana does, left hook to the body, then boom, the head. There was a point in this round, too, I think, where a lot of people thought it was a knockdown, and they thought that made the fight go in Karolina's favor. But to me, it was like a trip or like an off-balance thing, because when I went back and looked at it, Karolina didn't even land anything to knock Juarez down. It was just like Juarez was on her back foot again, and as she stepped back towards the cage, it looked like she was off balance. It wasn't even like a trip that initiated takedown. Karolina just saw the open and started to go down for her, but it was just kind of a off balance moment for Juarez. So I can't say that gives Karolina that round. When it came down to it, I had it 2-1 for Juarez. I'm not just saying it because I picked Juarez, but it could have went either way. After the fight, the judges were in there. I don't know what I don't know what the one judge was doing. I don't know what he messed up in the scoring. It took a hot minute for them to get it straight. It had Karolina and Juarez on the edge of their seats. They were looking back like, what's going on here? I bet at some point Juarez was like, you know what? I probably won this fight, but they got to figure out a way to take it away from me. That's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, she was like, oh man, they about to rob me, man. And, when it came down to it, she didn't get the victory. It was 29-28 for Karolina. Like I said, that's probably about right. Juarez didn't really do enough to, blow anybody away and say, if it did go in Karolina's favor, that, I got robbed. Oh, she got robbed. Or, she didn't do enough to just close the show, period. Right? But, yeah, man, Karolina got another victory here to kind of, sail a little bit further away from that 5-fight losing streak. From here, I'm going to talk about Karolina in another video because I want to talk about these fighters, who have better days, that when they get on this level, like how far can they go and how much of a danger to themselves are they at this point? Because, I think Karolina, she could still get some wins over these unpolished fighters, but eventually, they might match her up with somebody that would go in there with a better ground game, somebody that's going to take advantage of her lack of defense, and they could starch her. They could really go in there and really hurt her bad. Like she could fight fighters like Juarez, Jinh Fry, these fighters that tend to get a lot of losses against other unranked fighters, that to me are on the chopping block. But when you start putting her in there with the animals like a Yasmin Harigi or like a Bruna Brazil, who just won the Contender Series with a head kick knockout. I mean, this girl's tall, long, strong. When you start matching her up with fighters like that, that could be a problem. That could definitely be a problem for her. So for me, from here for Karolina, I think maybe, yeah, she could fight a couple of these other veterans, but even somebody like Angela Hill at this point, I think could do some damage to her. So it's all on her, to say, hey, do I want to keep doing this? Apparently she does. She still loves it, but I don't see her cracking the top 15 anytime soon. And like I said, I could see her losing to fighters like Yasmin or Bruna Brazil. There's some fighters she could beat, but those are the fighters that she needs to steer clear from in the unranked realm. As for Juarez, this is her third loss on the unranked realm. She's lost to Lupi, Demopoulos, and now Karolina. And like I said, at 37, and, not really showing too many improvements, not really committing to her strengths in these fights. I can see her on the chopping block, her and Jinh Fry. Love Jinh Fry, but, at this age, I don't know if they can really bring anything to the table to step out of the box and hurt these other girls. These other girls like Bruna, Sam Hughes, Yasmin Harigi, I think their mindset is, to get to the top, and nobody's going to stop them. Nobody's going to get in their way. They're going to knock you down if you get in their way. So, yeah, it's just like that sometimes. There's unranked fighters they sign, and there has to be some type of separation. There has to be some type of separation here. But let me know, guys, what y'all think about Karolina. I'll talk about it more in another video about these type of fighters, guys. Not Yasmin Harigi, but Juarez. Is she on that chopping block? Let me know. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.